Hey everybody, you're listening to the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm Chip Monk. With me as always, the Mr. Gimpy.
What up, Chip? It's been 2 weeks,
What's
brother.
happening, man?
How's
Yeah,
life?
dude, you've been working.
I've been
living,
working,
dude.
man. It's
Yeah,
one of those things, man. It was
Gotta
good work,
dude.
though. It was good work. It was good work.
Yeah, I've heard that where this is 0 to 18 is the free trial period for life.
Yeah.
For you're an adult, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
We're out here living, dude. Gotta pay now to stay.
Yeah. The next
Keep
work
it
trip
moving.
I have is in April, I believe. So
All
not as
right,
long. Not as long, just for a couple days, but it'll be good.
Nice, man.
You know, my trip. It was a lot of work going on. It was a lot of.
Yeah.
Nobody
cares, bro.
But no,
What about the gear, dude? What gear did you bring with
That's
you?
exactly
what were the
getting at.
games?
Exactly what I'm
All
getting
right, dude. That's what real people care about, dude.
I brought solely the Steam Deck and
All
a dock. I had an external monitor as well in case the hotel TV didn't let me plug in my HDMI.
Yeah, sometimes they're trifling, dude.
Yep, sometimes they are. But this hotel let me plug it in. So I plugged in the Steam Deck to the TV, was playing Marvel Rivals, was playing Ninja Gaiden 4, was playing... honestly, I was so wiped from work during the day that I would just load up Vampire Survivors and just play that for a few hours.
Yeah, it's like a nice mindless game, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, man, I even played like the zombies mode in Marvel Rivals, played it online with a buddy, and had like full voice chat going on. It was like a console experience, right? Like he didn't even realize I was on the deck. He's like, what the hell?
The deck has a microphone built in?
It does, but it also...
It's good?
It is good,
like
but I mean,
I
had a headset too, yeah.
All right.
From work, and then what I ended up doing was
headset. All right.
Yeah, what I ended up doing was actually to talk to him. Like initially, I had it on the deck, but like where I plugged it into the TV was like far away from the room in the room. So I was like, okay, I'll do something else here. So what I did is I had my earbuds in. It's my Pixel Buds. And I was like, oh yeah, I can just join Discord on my phone. So that's all I did. I just popped it on the phone, put the earbuds on the transparency mode so I could hear the game. It was perfect, dude. We're just chilling on the couch in the hotel, man, just playing games. So I had South Park on one TV just playing. I had the deck with like whatever game I'm playing on it in front of me. I had my laptop with work and an external monitor hooked up to it, just chilling. And then I had music playing. I was a bachelor pad for about the 7 days.
Yeah, dude, you're just relaxing. Getting work done, relaxing, dude. That's what it's about. I end up buying that Mario Bros. Wonder for the Switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So I was playing
still
that,
in
dude.
shrink wrap for me. My daughter and I were supposed to play it
All
together.
right.
So
it's fun.
great. It's going to be a Christmas gift now, but
yeah. So my bro, he's family left like a weekend or two ago. The same weekend you're off working.
Yeah.
And like he was like super lowly, so he's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, yeah, man, that's what's up. He's like, so you want to hang out? I'm like, we could maybe do something, but I kind of messed up my ankle. So I was like, yeah, I can't really walk around or do anything too crazy. I was like, we could go see a movie or something. I looked at like different things. Everything's crazy. Like not to be that guy.
Predator? Predator Badlands
no,
supposed to be the one.
No, I mean, I already spoiled what happened. We ended up,
buying. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so I don't know. Everything got that to be that guy. Everything got super expensive, dude. I was looking at like going to a hockey game that's like $270 for two people. Yeah. I looked at like going to like an orchestral thing.
Play the Oilers or something. I'm thinking like that week.
Like that.
Okay, yeah.
And then I was like looking at like maybe going to see the orchestral people play because I know my bro likes classical music. That was like $80 a ticket.
That's actually not bad though.
Yeah, but it's like $160 plus all the taxes and service fees and all this shit, dude. It's gonna be like over $200. And so then he was like, "What about if we just get Mario Bros and buy some pizza and play video games all day?" I was like, yeah, all right, hell yeah. So we went and bought Mario Bros. Wonder, got some apple cider beers, dude.
Yeah.
Went to the grocery store, got some frozen pizzas. And
sounds like an amazing day, dude, honestly.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was all day long. We're just chilling. I was like, yo, this is, honestly, it was like a throwback. It was like, this is tight. This is like, again, like this is like a summer vacation day. We're just sitting there playing. I got Mario Maker 2 as well, but we didn't really play that.
You just hooked on Wonder?
Yeah, we were just playing Wonder all day. We got pretty far. Probably got like 2/8 of the way through because there's like 8 little star things or whatever you gotta get. So yeah, and just like one day, and then my nephew showed up in the afternoon. And it's like a 4-player game, so we just like back down and let them join in. I will say, like, the challenges, bro, super challenging in that game, at least with 2 people, because like anything where there's like a screen that like auto scrolls or like stops, like somebody's falling off, and there's a lot of like challenging jumps and stuff. And the controllers felt a little laggy, like the wireless ones, at least for me. Like I'm used to like Super Meat Boy and stuff though, or this like Cracker Jack clear crisp button response.
Were you using the Switch Pro controllers, or were you just using the
I don't, the ones with Sonic in them? I don't know, like an actual Sonic inside the controller.
Oh, okay. Those are third party. So I wouldn't put too much stock in it in the
all right
field.
It was fine, but it just felt like slightly off, like a little.
You just have to
and
get
the
right.
buttons were a little mushy on them, but they're cool looking controllers at least. Like,
I'll say, like my daughter and I played through Super Mario 3D World and together co-opted and Bowser's Fury co-opted, and didn't feel like it all. It was fine, but we were both using the official Switch controllers as well. So,
nice,
but that's awesome, dude. Now Mario doesn't make a bad game, right? like even like co-op stuff, outside of like Super Mario Brothers Wii, where they introduced like the 4-player co-op and it was easy, you had pop a bubble. Like I thought that game was too easy, but it seemed like they figured out how to co-op with that and kept a challenge. Like when I played Mario 3D World with my daughter, and she was 7, 6. Don't do that, but she was starting to play games with a challenge, but she wasn't as good at them yet. So I could literally just pick her up, like in the game, put her on my head and just run around and jump and do that stuff, and then throw her. And then she got better as we progressed, and we beat the challenge stage and unlocked Rosalina and everything. So it's great, man. Like there was never a point where I was like, this game's too easy, like I don't have a challenge. It always maintained a good level of challenge throughout, and I'm assuming it sounds like Wonder does the same.
Yeah, like they tell you like the difficulty like on the stage select, and then like take them seriously. Like some of them are like, you'll be playing the beginning area and they'll have like a challenge, it's like 5 whatever, and you're like, this is probably, it's in the beginner area, dude. It just like beat us badly. I will say though, dude, the real challenge increase mode was like the apple cides, bro. After like 4 or 5 hours, like Unk was a little crunk, dude. I died so much that like we got a game over. My bro was like, "Oh, we could just reset." I was like, "Let it happen, bro. Like, trust me, Nintendo knows." And so like it's like, "Oh, you died." It's like, here's like a special bonus, and it's just like we're just laughing so hard because it just gives you a room full of like coins and 1-ups because it's like, yo, you're terrible at this game. You have some treasure, dude. And so like we're just literally laughing, like jumping around in treasure, dude. It was chill, dude. It was great.
It's awesome, man.
Awesome. Yeah, and then like I gave them kind of like a non-answer to my nephews, like because they got to play with a little bit for us. And they're like, "Are these our games now?" I was like, because I brought them over. I did buy. I was like, yes, but also I didn't want to say that because I also wanted the right to just grab them back at any point.
They're your games,
so
bro.
Like,
yeah. They can chill. They can chill.
Yeah, they can chill there. They're just kind of chilling there. You're just kind of the custodians of Uncle's games, which is kind of the worst place to be because now you're responsible for them, dude. I feel like everyone had that, like growing up, right? You'd end up with like some SNES cartridges from somebody, and you're like, I'm kind of responsible for this, and like you gotta try and like meet them to give them back at some point. Like, always some drama.
My uncle with the Genesis, he'd always let me borrow a game because I only got games like once a year, So he'd always let me borrow one if I was playing it in a single player, and then I beat it and I give it back to him. And but as I got older, he would do the same thing, right? Like I had nothing but disposable income as a kid, right? Like he'd borrow games from me the same way. So we had that reciprocal agreement. Even to this day, that same uncle has a controller of mine and a power cord of mine. Just because I'm not expecting them back, but they're still mine. You know what I mean? It's like
in theory,
exactly.
So possession's 9/10 the law, bro.
But I am notoriously just stingy with my stuff. There's only a select few people that I will lend anything to. So
same.
Yeah, so if those of you who know me in real life, who if I've ever lent you something, you're one of those those people, and feel honored because I'll let people touch my shit. You know what I mean? Like even my kids, I'm like, for a lot of things. There's a couple of things to this day they've never touched or played because I was like, nah.
Nah. Oh, that's good, man. You gotta have people respect your boundaries and all that, you know.
Growing
Yeah,
up and
man.
having like extended relatives, like your parents, like my parents would bring him over, and go like, "Oh yeah, play with the stuff. It's fine. He won't care."
Yeah,
Every
like
time it
what?
was,
It's
dude.
crazy,
I
dude.
have toys at my parents' house that I haven't touched in 30 years that I still don't want people to touch. You know what I mean? There's like a
Yeah, man.
possessive issue there, but I plan on giving them to my kids, but there's like a pristine Spider-Man toy
Oh,
and a pristine Daredevil toy that was a part of the first Legends line, where he actually
yeah,
has a cloth outfit. That I looked, and it's actually worth a pretty penny. If I had the
yeah.
box, it'd be worth a stupid amount. But I keep all my stuff in good condition, so I'm always looking at it like, no,
I tried to do that for my nephews, but I gave them stuff too early. Like I got them like some DC like miniature figures,
yeah,
like some weird one-off like collectible stuff. Where I was like, "Yo, this is like a weird collab. I'm gonna buy these."
yeah,
So I got like the entire Justice League set, and I was like, "It's probably worse than mine." So I just left them in the box. I gave it to my bro, take care of them. You know, they all got ruined, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
yeah,
it is what it is. Especially
yeah,
like if anything you give to like children, just be like,
yeah,
it's, I
yeah.
don't know.
There's a
It's not
couple
going to
things.
be was it MIB mint in box? Like whatever,
Yeah.
dude.
There's a Fallout
The
statue
toys are
behind
meant
me
to be
here
played.
that my niece, when she was like 3, really
Yeah,
liked it and grabbed it, played with it. There's like paint chips on it. I'm like, oh man, but you can't be too
yeah.
mad.
It's weird, dude. I see this like with because I get my nephews like Lego sets. I just my shout out to my one nephew. He just had a birthday. Bought him some Lego sets after that. Like not at the birthday party.
Yeah,
So we don't really do like gifts at birthday parties. So I was like, like on my way home, I picked him up some stuff, and I was like, yo, just give this to him tomorrow. Uh, so I got him that stuff. And then I was like looking online. So there's like a bunch of like bootleg Lego sets you can get that also like kind of work with the same pips or
yeah,
whatever.
yep.
And then other people are like, yeah, but it's not going to retain its value in the comments. And like somebody's like, imagine being like, yo, I buy Legos as an investment. Like, that's crazy. And then like somebody else was like, this is why the prices are like crazy on
Crazy.
Legos right now. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's wild, but
yeah, man.
yeah, man. So while I was gone, as I come back,
All right.
Valve dropped its nuclear bomb. The announcement
Oh
that
yeah,
everyone was
dude.
waiting for happened, and it wasn't just one announcement because we knew about the Steam frame. We knew the Steam frame was coming. There were other
Yeah.
rumors of Valve's projects, and here
Murmurs,
we
dude.
go with
Disturbance in the force.
they announced the Steam frame, new Steam machines, and
Yeah,
the Steam controller 2, or the Steam Pad 2, or whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
right? So let's get into it, man. I think
People
this
are
is exciting
already
news.
starting the Half-Life 3 rumors again, dude.
Every
Like they're gonna
time.
drop Half-Life 3 with this. This is the first time Steam also did like a computer. Or this
Yes,
is
the
more of
Steam
a this
machine
is
originally
still a
came out
computer, but
like what, 11 or
yeah,
14 or something like that. It's like
yeah.
yeah, but
Been a while.
that was like a partnership with other devices, right? There's like an HP
Yeah,
version and other stuff. This is Valve hardware, right? Like they sourced it
yeah.
themselves. They're selling it themselves in
See,
a
I talked to
uniform
you
case.
about this a little bit
Yes.
yesterday about I was like, how come they just don't do like another partnership? And I was like, I almost wonder if it's like not quite a monopoly, but a monopoly of like licenses from like Windows and
Yeah.
Google,
Yeah.
because like they have like partnerships already existing with like all the major developers with like your HPs, your whatever, Lenovo's, and all this stuff. The
Yeah.
other ones like there's
Yeah.
a ton of like is it but there's few, like there's a lot of them, but there's not a lot of them, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Right.
And
True.
then they're all sourcing from like the same chip manufacturers as well.
Yep.
And then so
Yep.
they have
All AMD
partnerships. It's
sourced
like
as well, and yep.
it's
Yep.
not quite a monopoly, but there's like a huge blockade to like new incumbents to like any field. If you want to get into like hardware development, there's a lot of upfront cost as well. Even if you're trying to get like existing pre-made stuff, it's like okay, but we gotta have extras. And right now, nobody really has a lot of extra anything, like as far as like transistors or
Yeah.
chipsets go.
Yeah. So
And then some people also bought and are hoarding,
yes.
stuff like RAM
Yes.
and stuff too. So like
That's a huge
they're
thing.
playing like hardware like a stock market, where they're like, oh, I'm gonna hold
Imagine
on to
buying
this baby.
Legos.
Yeah, imagine buying Legos, dude. This is what these people are doing right now with like a lot of chips out there.
Very
And
true.
that's what I've heard. Those are the murmurs, dude.
Yeah. So let's talk about it in reverse order. I would like to talk about Steam Frame last, as I love VR, so we'll save that for last.
Yeah.
The Steam Controller 2. You have the original Steam controller. What was that, Professor? One of you guys did.
This is the professor.
Okay.
I bought it for him.
I liked the original Steam Pad. I thought it was a great first start. When I first used it, I thought, wow, this is actually an incredible idea. They just need to expand upon it, right? Like some of the stuff wasn't as comfortable. The mouse pad that they had initially wasn't as comfortable, as harder to use. But it did open up things like Civ to play with the controller on your TV, and open up things like StarCraft to play with the controller on your TV, N64 version notwithstanding. The Steam Deck comes out with an expanded Steam controller ethos, which also added like the gyro, which I can't remember if the original one did. It probably did, but I just can't remember. But the gyro controls, the adaptive thumbsticks. I still think the Steam Deck controller is the most comfortable handheld. So having that as a controller now with the mouse features on the capacitive touchpads and all of that, incredible. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on how much of a improvement this controller is in the gaming space, because we've been working on the Xbox controller for too long, and this isn't even like the Xbox. This is a Vader 4 Pro, Pro 2.
I got an Xbox controller.
It has a higher.
I know we're just whipping out controllers here,
range, but this is my daily driver for when I'm playing anything.
OG, I think it's a 360 controller.
And I think we can all agree that Microsoft nailed the design, right? Like as far as comfortability, usage.
No Duke.
I actually have the Duke remake. It's over in the corner. The Duke remake was great. It was made by PDP, but it's the original shell design. But off the point. But that being said, Microsoft hasn't iterated on the controller beyond adding paddles to like their Pro series, right? The fact that like this one is Hall effect as well, and
I just heard somebody talking about like a PlayStation 5 with like that gyroscope controller, like in the new PS5. Like they're like, this is kind of like the best
way
motion controller.
And to switch with shout out Splatoon. Splatoon 2 showed that the gyro aiming is it's kind of the future. There's a very popular YouTube video of a guy learning to play Team Fortress 2 with it and getting good with the gyro controls. This is probably how a lot of people are going to be playing games in the future, and Valve coming out and supporting it and supporting the gyro aiming, like this controller I have here does gyro aiming too. I don't use it because I'm a keyboard, mouse, or pure controller. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm probably too old for that. But I understand the appeal. I understand that it is the next coming of FPS aiming or third person shooter aiming. And we're here for it.
With like a camera to look around.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
So supporting that, I think, is huge. Supporting just mouse controls to open up playing like strategy games or things that you predominantly use the mouse on your controller is huge. I did an entire playthrough of XCOM on the Steam Deck with the controller, and it was just fine. So I know it could work. It should be great. So I'm hyped for this. I have no need for it, but I will buy it just to be a part of history. I didn't get the first Steam controller, but I will get this one. Any thoughts on the controller from you?
No, they did so much for, like you said, like PC gaming space, just introducing it, and like it was a good step forward. And I told you this the other day, where I'm like, I'm not excited about like the Steam, box or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm more excited about like the Steam OS and like what that's done for like Linux gaming in general and like their wrapper around that.
Yeah.
And like I've been looking around, a lot of people already online are kind of building like bootleg Timo versions of like what the Steam box will be. Like that's kind of cool. And like looking at that, like
the Gabe-Cube.
Almost like the Gabe-Cube. They're like, it's kind of priced out to about $1,000 right now in like current hardware, but you never know like what they're doing on the back end with like their manufacturing and stuff. And like they can also eat a loss too. Like a lot of hardware manufacturers do eat a loss to get you into their ecosystem.
So I just before we started this pod, I read an article of I want to say it was IGN, but it might have been Ars Technica. I can't remember. But they were like, we think that the Steam machine will probably be priced around like the $450 to $550 price point to aggressively compete with current consoles and to just get in the living room,
Okay, yeah, it's incredibly aggressive pricing.
Which I feel like the $800 to $1,200 range is more likely, but given how relatively cheap the Steam Deck is or was at launch and is now, I could see it going that low. The sub, $500 range. I could see it. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility because Valve has the resources to take the hit. And their main thing, much like Microsoft, is to get you on their ecosystem, which their ecosystem is the most open ecosystem. And I say that with an asterisk because I know Steam and like their framework and then the anti-cheats, all that. But they're like getting you on Linux in the living room. They're updating Steam OS to be not only just like a console first, big picture oriented device, but also a full-fledged Linux operating system, right? So you could do what you want on it, and I think that's huge. You're right, they did so much for gaming on Linux to where I initially tried it. I initially tried to make the jump in the 2004, and I lasted a month before like getting stuff to work was such a pain in the ass where I just gave up.
I just put Linux on my Windows now, and that's how I do it. Like, I don't know, like I'm closer and closer. Like I'm like, oh, now, because I'm almost like on the other end of it where I'm like, I could probably run Linux, but I have to have a little Windows on there.
Yeah.
Whereas right now I'm running like Windows with like a little bit of, with a lot of Linux on it right now. Like, like I'm in the console more than I am like, in the GUI. And I don't like it. And like Linux, I've always had the problem with like, just let me do like, have like your version of like exes, dude. Like, what are we doing? How come I have to like go and like type everything in all the time? And I know like there's like
Flatpak and the compatibility and the Proton compatibility layer have done a load of work. And even getting the Microsoft Office apps, right? Because one of the things is I can't really go all Linux when I need the Microsoft stuff for work. But there's like Flatpaks to install there's OpenOffice, of course. LibreOffice is my personal favorite, which I use daily. But if I need to, there's Flatpaks to install just those Microsoft Office products, right? And that's a huge thing that Linux needs to infiltrate the workspace. They already dominate the server space. We know that, but for end users, it needs you need to be able to work on it. And also for the mass adoption, game on it. And we're proving right now you can game on it, you can game on it well, and a lot of times it runs better on Linux. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, man. I don't know though, because I had this problem back when Xbox One dropped, and a lot of people did, where it was like it's trying to almost be a PC, but it doesn't have like those big tentpole PC features, kind of like we're talking like the Microsoft Office suite or anything on the Xbox One. And it almost seems because like the gaming division is separate from the Microsoft Windows division, they like didn't want like the cross pollination, which seems like a big misstep, because you're like, this is basically a PC now. Like I don't know. So it's nice that because it's running Linux OS for the Steam boxes, like it can have like these weird software things that it's nice to have. I don't know who the use case for it is, but like I'm also weird in a bubble. Like I'm using a nice gaming laptop to do like most of my productivity stuff. So, I'm just a weird edge pro user on like my own shit developing. Right. I think most, other people like you said, like your kids are still using the consoles. They're still like playing that. I was surprised that like there's not more people like on cell phone stuff, but like, I don't know, man. I'm just, I'm out of touch. There's so many devices and people interfacing differently, and I think like these platforms that can have like almost like a sign-in where you can access all of your documents anywhere are becoming more of the future, even though I personally don't like that. I hate like your Google Drives and your Microsoft OneDrives. I don't know if I'd want like a Steam drive, but I also like having access to my Steam shit anywhere. Like, so I don't know. I'm open to that. I like the good old games where it's just like, just give me the ISO and let me put it on whatever my thing is, and having access to that. But I don't know, man. It's there's so many different ways to interface with stuff, and like you got to figure out. It's more incumbent now on the consumer to like do their due diligence and research on like how they want to, actually be participating in the consumerism of games. Really,
right. But I think this is Valve's best stab at infiltrating the home market. They have all of the goodwill. The Steam Deck really opened like the general public's eyes to, one, how great PC gaming is, how great indie games are at this moment. We've had the indie renaissance in the early 2000s, like, you know, the 360 era, and then it's lasted until now. Even there's so many different indie games that come out that are taking the world by storm.
Hey,
Having everything in
real
the palm of
quick,
your hand. Yeah.
you talking 360, bro? So I went down a fucking rabbit hole, bro. So if you look online, and I'm not saying you should do this, but they got Unity 5.4 now, like jailbroken with the Xbox 360 dev on there, so you can. All right, and then also, like, I think almost just like 2 weeks ago, they had a soft mod now for the 360.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's a bad avatar or something like that, but yo, you can soft mod your 360 now, bro, and just make games for it now. You can make your own homebrew Unity 5.4 games. It launches way faster. Like, it's super easy to build. There's YouTube videos on how to do it. I was like, man, maybe I should buy a 360. But also, like, I'll say this, like, for the Xbox Series S too, like the goodwill they have there, like they have like a developer app you can just download, and then like sign up for, and it's also easy to build for like at least Unity. Like you can, so you use like Windows Universe, it's like UWP, it's like Universal Windows Platform. It's almost like an APK for like Android. It's a little convoluted when I was first trying to figure it out, because I've been in their dev mode for a while, but now it's like way easier to understand for people. There's more videos and tutorials on how to do that stuff. Like, I don't know. So yeah, man,
it's easier.
Yeah, man, they have like a Java broken version of like PlayStation 2 now. If you want to make Java games for the PlayStation 2 and have them boot up, bro. We're living in like the weirdest timeline now, where like there's gonna be a lot more, like, I think you're talking about the indie scene and all this. I think we're gonna have like a huge homebrew scene. Yeah.
Homebrew's never died, like,
you know. Yeah. I'm saying like it can only get better, though, is what I'm saying. Like the tools are becoming like more democratized and easier to use. Like, because before, like, you had to know a lot of stuff, bro.
Yeah,
like, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
that's true.
You had to like go and like even like NES and stuff. Like you need to be like looking at like chip files and all this
code
stuff.
And all that. Yeah, right.
Like, what is this? And now like they have like the thing like the Game Boy engine where you can like go and make like a Game Boy game with like a GUI, and you're like, oh,
yeah, exactly. It's crazy, dude. With that being said, I'm excited for the Steam Machine as well. I don't know if I'll get this one. There's the form factor.
Format, right?
Yeah, the form factor is crazy. I'm at the point where my kids are wanting their own PCs, and I'm gonna wait till it releases to decide if I'm going to get them a Steam Machine, maybe sideload Windows onto it, or just build them a PC, because the expandable upgradability are a concern. But well, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Could I get?
Let me float this, bro. You could do like a Chromebook, or you could do like a Samsung phone, dude.
Too less, not powerful enough, and not for what they.
Do the Samsung phones incredibly powerful. They got a desktop mode now. You can like.
I know. It's not. Dude, it's not what they need, though. It's not what they need.
I'm just telling you, bro. Like the app scenes are getting good, dude. Android apps are getting real good.
I believe you.
Like, I don't know if you've been keeping it. Like, I've only tapped back into it because I got the tablet now where I'm drawing, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of really good software now for like Android. Like, it's not like the Wild West anymore, dude. It's like, yo, there's some actually like competent pieces of like kit here now.
Okay, I'll believe you. So with the time we have left, I wanted to talk about the Steam Frame. We knew for a while, codenamed Deckard, that Valve was coming out with a standalone VR headset. They dropped it. They have this new compatibility layer called FX that seems like pure magic, and they have foveated streaming to where it'll like stream and render what your eyes are looking at, so decreasing overhead, and it's also a standalone, so it can run. It has a ARM chip in it, so it can just run whatever. They haven't spoken about Half-Life Alyx working standalone, so I assume it doesn't. But the games that they did showcase were some of the most popular VR games right now anyway, so it's not a huge deal.
I don't know, man. Alyx is like the game, dude.
Right. And they did come out saying streaming first, right? So so that's how you'd have to play Alyx on the Quest anyway. You'd have to stream it, So
they're saying that, like their Gabe-Cube has like a dedicated like antenna for streaming to possibly VR. Like, I don't know. They're like, we don't know what this one is.
I think it's about damn time Valve has come out with a standalone headset. They've said that it will be cheaper than the Index, and in turn they completely stopped production of the Index. They cancel it. The Index is now a legacy piece of hardware, including the controllers, which is sad because I have them and they're fantastic. And the new controllers are more akin to the like Quest controllers, or it's like a split Xbox controller, really. But it also has like the touch sensors that the Index controllers did. So once again, the Index walked, so the frame could run, and the frame could be adopted by the masses. The frame is not just a VR device, but it's a Steam Deck on your face. It can run all of the, like there's going to be frame verified games there, and it's designed to just work with your Steam library, not just VR, your Steam library. Hence the Xbox controller, the split Xbox controller in your hands to just play. I think this is a potential just changer for me, like a game changer for me, because I bring the Steam Deck on travel. I hook it up to a TV. If I could include a portion of my VR library, still hook it up to a TV and play with like a Bluetooth controller,
all right,
that would be my new piece of kit to bring with on trips. I already I do the Steam Deck, and I have like the XR glasses that I'll use on a plane to just have full screen, but the Steam frame, I'd already have the full screen, right? If I'm just wearing the thing, I'd look a little crazy wearing a big ass VR headset on the plane, but I already don't give a shit,
dude. Yeah, dude.
So
it's like, hey, I guess I don't have to see them because the people giving you awkward stares because you're out in like a, playing Beat Saber.
Yeah, right.
You're just like,
I imagine how hilarious that would be on a plane, dude. Just be crazy. But I think the Steam frame, I'm going to buy one. There's no ifs, and or buts. I will buy one.
Nice.
I've been looking for a second VR headset for the wife to use, and I was about to pull the trigger on the Quest. And there are Quest exclusives that I still want. Batman, being the big one. So we'll see if I end up getting one too. But I just don't want to give money to Meta, So
that's fair, man.
But with the Steam frame, I think that this kind of shifts the focus to talk about VR again, because VR goes through these highs and lows of people going, oh, VR's here. Oh, PC VR is dead. Oh, PC VR is back with the Beyond 2. PC VR is dead. We're on that high again where PC VR is back. But when you have Valve shifting their weight around for VR, I feel that we're on a cycle of 2 years of PC VR being back, and I'm excited for it. What are your thoughts on this with the time we have left?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think, again, because of Steam OS, because of developing for Linux, you're not going to get all that extra overhead if you're doing that. Whereas you have to pack like Android stuff like APKs to run on like a Meta device. And then it's like limited by like those constraints. So if like you're able to, like, I've said it earlier on this podcast before, like episodes long ago, where like my preferred method is like a direct line hooked up to my computer to like experience Half-Life Alyx in like its full resolution and experience. I was like, yo, there's nothing like this is crazy. And then like you see like all these other like jailbroke games that have VR features like plugged in now as well. Like where you're looking at that and you're like, yo, how come this isn't like, if people had this and they understood like what this is, they'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm done with like old games. But I think overall, like what I've been looking for this whole podcast is like the word ubiquity.
Yeah.
I don't think like we're ever going to get back to that like SNES, Sega Genesis era of like everyone has like these same two things. I think there's like so many SKUs of different hardware throughout like the last 20 years, and then more new stuff is coming out where it's like and I said this about like Xbox, where they're trying to push the Game Pass and just have it be like the Netflix of games. I don't like that. I don't like what Meta's done with buying up like all the software developers. Yeah, but I do love like what's going on again with like the homebrew scenes, with like the open source, with the indie devs that keep on putting out stuff mostly on Steam. It's good and bad, and I think the hubris of these huge companies like Microsoft and Apple, like they're going to get crushed under the weight of like the big AAA games still coming out. Like we're like, oh, we're going to put $500 million into a game. It's like, I don't think that's a great business decision anymore. Like it's not like the early aughts anymore, where it's like, there's two machines, there's 90 million consoles of like these SKUs we can develop for. It's like there's like 20 million Xbox S's out there. It's Yeah, so it's like you're not going to recoup the same costs as then you're developing for like previous iterations of your like. So yeah, I think having these, and this is what Steam's done really well, like having like 10, 15 years between each iteration
Agreed.
into development.
Agreed. Yeah,
It's like, give the hardware time to breathe.
Yep.
And also the time to develop the OS, the hardware with the controller, with the software. Get feedback from your users. They've been great at that. Of like, you guys got any ideas for like game settings for these control pads? Send them in. And then like, the best stuff for ISO have like the openness of like the workshop for stuff like Half-Life Alyx. So you can like have a grassroots approach to like VR indie developers. It's like, maybe you're not going to, get a game engine or, design something from the ground up, but it at least gets you dabbled and like familiar with like that stuff.
Yes.
I don't like these big AAA companies all going to like Unreal and stuff too. I think we saw this early on when I think it was maybe EA where they bought up like that racing game engine that like everything was built on. And like, they're like, oh, we're still going to keep the engine open for all the other developers. They didn't.
Well, they forced everyone to use Frostbite as well, which is the Battlefield engine. They've forced it for everything, and other games suffered because that engine wasn't designed for it. Like Mass Effect Andromeda probably is the biggest game released by EA that used the Frostbite engine that it just wasn't it. It wasn't it for that type of game. It wasn't designed for an open RPG in mind, and it suffered because of it. But yeah, no, you're right. But I agree that I don't like any of the developers going all Unreal all the time, because Unreal Engine 5, as much as we hyped it previously, in practice, the lazy developers, there's the micro stutters, there's the Ubermesh terrain that is just the same because they use the exact same settings, they use the exact same like bundled texture packs, and with it. So I've seen a lot of the same textures in other games from Unreal Engine 5. There's definitely an Unreal Engine 5 look to a lot of games where their artistic integrity has suffered because of it. And I can't solely blame the engine for it, but the engine is the microcosm of the bigger problem of, not only AI development, but developers firing the talented artists who make things, and just using pre-bought assets all the time. There's a lot going on in the dev space for it, but Unreal Engine 5 is unfortunately it's not the answer, and I hope that there are teams still making new engines to compete, because I'm sick of like seeing the new Halo anniversary remake, micro stuttering on the Silent Cartographer mission just made me want to vomit. So, done with it. Doesn't have to be the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. You can clip it, man. Back when Unreal Engine 5 came out, where I was like, I think this is going to lead to a bunch of slopware, basically, is like, I think kind of my phrasing. Yeah. I was like, you're going to see a lot more like schemes and scams of people like making like beautiful trailers for like games. You're like, oh, this looks amazing. And then there's going to be nothing to it. So I don't know. I kind of called it like back then, but it's not the engine's problem. Unity had the reverse problem where all the games, because it was so, and what we're looking for is easeability and access to development, which isn't a bad thing on its face. But you have a lot of like first-time indie devs or a lot of young people who don't understand about like optimization or anything. Yeah. And then like they're just like, oh, Nanite, this will take care of everything. It's magic. And so they're not like doing any like the LUDs or any of the other optimizations or calling meshing,
caching,
any of the basic
reloading.
Anything, even like baking in lighting is the basic shit. They're just like, they don't know about it. Because they never had to deal with it, and they're like, oh, this just does that, right? And they're going along with like tutorials, and like, it's fine for like small rooms or a trailer, but as soon as you like start expanding the game, you're like, why is it all running bad? Why is everything going horrible? And Unity had the opposite problem, where every game kind of coming out in the early outs, you're like, yo, this game looks like trash. Who's making this? Why are all these slop games coming out for Unity? And it was like, because it was the ease of access and the accessibility, you had more game developers like starting to make games. Where this, I think, is the exact same problem, but it just looks nicer.
Looks nicer,
That's a bigger problem, right? Because like we're very visual creatures, and you're like, "Yo, this looks like a AAA game. This is gonna be awesome." And then you're like, get into, you're like, "Oh, this is trash, bro. You tricked me."
Yeah. So that being said, with we're over time, but do you think you'll grab the Steam frame, or do you think you'll stick with your Quest 2 right now?
I'm gonna stick with the Quest 2. I'm like you.
You don't play as often, right? Yes.
Yeah, I haven't been playing. Like the last game I was playing was Mario Wonder, dude. Like, yeah, I'm kind of like you though. If there's like 2 or 3 like killer apps for it, I'll probably like end up getting it.
Sure.
Because it's been a while. Okay, that's kind of the beautiful thing about waiting on stuff. Like I haven't upgraded my computer yet. I'm still using like an RTX 3060 or something. But like I upgraded that 6 years ago, and like because I tend to get like really top of the line shit, and then wait like 5 to 10 years before I get new stuff.
Yeah.
Because this still runs everything fine. And I'm again, I stream a lot of my games from my desktop, so I can still run a lot of like the newer games and stuff on the headset I have.
Yeah.
But it is getting a little long in the tooth. It is Meta always is updating and making it like a worse experience actively, which isn't good. I keep on like avoiding like updates on my Windows PC as well, where I'm like, no, I disagree, and then that's kind of been my workaround for a lot of it. But I don't know, man. They keep on forcing stuff, dude.
Let's see how it goes.
This is my old man shakes his fist at the clouds, man.
I got you. But yeah, so anybody listening, just are you excited for any of the Steam products? Are the controller, the machine, the frame? If you're getting it, great. Let us know. What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to with it? And we'll see you guys next week.
Think about the homebrews. Do some homebrewing. Like, share, subscribe.
We out of here.
Peace.
Later.